What's up everyone, my name is Abby, I like to read, and today I'm going to be reviewing and discussing A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair. So this book is the first book in the Halfling saga. I saw this book, I'm not on TikTok, but I saw on Instagram Reels TikToks of this book. Basically it just kind of exploded on TikTok. I think even like before it came out, it just like hard launched on TikTok. Like their marketing was like on top of it. And then I just didn't think about it for months and months and months and months. And then I saw the second book in Barnes & Noble. The cover like drew me in. And then I was like, oh, this is the second book in a series. So I picked up the first and I read it and I really, really enjoyed it. So today I'm going to be talking about what I did and did not enjoy. Mostly enjoyed, but there were some things that I did not enjoy. So I'll be talking about all of those things. So we are going to be starting with the non-spoiler section of this review. I did end up giving this book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I already bought the second book and I am very excited to read that one. I'll probably try to read it next month or the month after that. So yes, 5 stars. I tabbed it. So yeah, basically non-spoiler, I really love this book, although it did have some flaws. So basically this book is set in a world where there are humans, there are fae, there are elves, and there are halflings. Basically halflings are the children of elves and humans, and basically halflings are not well liked. They are enslaved. The king of the human world has killed all of the elves and enslaved the halfling children. Why? I don't know. Basically, the female halflings are collected and put into the order where they train and become warriors for the crown. Kira, the protagonist, is known as the Blade. One thing I found really cool about this book is the different positions of the crown, like, order is like, they have like the blade, the dagger, the shield, the arrow. Those are all really cool and they represented like different parts of like the king's warriors. So basically Kira is like the assassin of the king. And then someone known as the Shadow is going around messing up all the stuff, stirring up some shit. Basically he is like thwarting the plans of the king. He is stealing things and just making things go amok. And the king is trying to get the Blade, otherwise known as Kira, to figure out who the Shadow is and kill him. That is basically the summary of this book. Parts that I didn't really like. The romance. It was very predictable as to who was going to be the main love interest. Classic enemies to lovers type of book. However, I feel like it wasn't super believable. Like, it switched super quickly from I hate you, we're enemies, to lovers. And I want to see that kind of build up to it. I want to see it go from enemies to I tolerate you to oh, I kind of like you to I trust you to I love you. You know, I want to see that progression, not just have that like switch. So that was one of the things that I didn't really enjoy about this book. I'm hoping that in the next book we will kind of see that romance develop a little bit more, but it really just seemed a little bit rushed in this book. So that is all I can kind of say about this book without spoiling you. So if you haven't read this book, go check it out. And if you have read it, stay tuned and I will kind of give my spoilery thoughts on it. Okay, so one of the things about this book is for the longest time I thought that Killian, the prince, the younger prince, was the Shadow. I was like, oh, he's gonna be the Shadow. He's gonna be the Shadow. Just because he was acting like super suspicious throughout the whole half of the book. But then we discover that he's not the Shadow, but he is a part of the resistance? I don't know what to call him. But basically we learn at the end that he is basically controlling the Shadow. He's like the Shadow's boss. He's the leader of this group. Which, I don't know why there was such this fanfare of like kidnapping her and then like taking the hood off and being like, look, it's me, I'm a part of the group, I'm the leader. I don't understand why it was such a huge secret up until now. I don't know why Riven wasn't there for that revealing or why he didn't tell her. I don't know, it just seemed kind of weird. I obviously knew that Killian was some sort of part of this, he was acting super suspicious. So the kind of reveal wasn't really too reveal-y for me. One of my favorite things about this book is Kira's age. So we find out that Kira is like 60, I think. Because of her elven blood, she ages slower. And what is it? How old? Riven, I think we discussed that he was like 90, I think. Riven isn't that much older. He's not like 300 years old. But one thing that I loved is so often in these types of fantasies, the main protagonist, female, is like 19 years old. And she falls in love with like a 200-year-old man. And it's just like, it's kind of creepy. Think about it. It's creepy. And obviously, I swoon over these romances too. But when you actually think about it, it is creepy. So to have more of like, not even just the age difference be smaller, but the fact that Kira is so old and mature, and it's not like she looks 60, she like looks like a 30-year-old, but she ages slower. But the fact that she has like that maturity and the wisdom and experience, it makes it a little less predatory in a way. So I did really enjoy that. And one of the characters in this book, Gwen, who is the daughter of, I don't know what they call it, like handmaiden, someone that like helped Kira, like took care of her room, stuff like that. She is her daughter, and she's also enslaved by the king. She was 19, and you could tell she acted like a 19-year-old. So many times in these books, we have a protagonist that is 19, but acts so much older than her age. It was so nice to see a 19-year-old in this book act like a 19-year-old and have that like naiveness and just that youth to her. It was really refreshing. I would have liked to get a little bit more background on why the elves are hated. Why did the king want to kill all of them? I don't understand. There are just some things that in this world building I feel like were left out, and it kind of left a lot of questions. Maybe we'll find out in the next book, I'm not sure. But in this one I was just like, why do they hate them so much? I don't know. Like, why do they hate the elves but not the fae? I don't get it. I would also love to know more about the Fae Lord, Riven's uncle, maybe? I think that was his nephew. We didn't see him much, and I can't believe that he wouldn't know what Riven is doing. You know, because he, like, controls the trees and stuff. Like, he can sense things. Surely he knows what he's doing. So I'm kind of interested to see if he, like, plays a part in that at all. One of my favorite things about this book was the dynamic between Riven, Nikolai, and Syra. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I love their little family dynamic. They were really cute. I love the banter. I love Nikolai. He's kind of that classic character that's flirty, but like has a past that like there's a reason why he like flirts and has humor. It's to deflect on his past, but I like that kind of character. It adds some humor to the book, and I like how Kira kind of became one of the group. You know, she started out, didn't trust her, didn't like her, and then slowly you can see her earning their trust and kind of gaining that confidence with them and just becoming a part of the family. So I mentioned earlier in this video that I didn't really like the romance aspect of it. One thing that added to that was how many times Riven was like, I don't trust you, and Kira was like, well, you're gonna have to figure out if you trust me or not. It happened like 5 times in the book, and I just kind of got sick of it. It's like, she just proved so much of why you can trust her, and he's still just being an ass, and I just didn't like that. More specifically, just the fact that they kept having the same conversation of, Riven, you have to decide now if you're gonna trust me. Like, obviously he didn't decide then, because they have the conversation 3 more times, so that was just a little bit frustrating, and I just didn't really like that part of the book. Another thing is I really wish there was more action. There were, like, kind of action scenes in this book where they were sparring and training, and then there was that one scene where the like traffickers have like taken Nikolai and Syra, and you know Riven and Kira have to save them, but besides that there wasn't a whole lot of action. There wasn't that main build-up, because the kind of climax scene of this book is them blowing up the dam, or is it a dam, or was it a building? They blew up something. But there wasn't necessarily any fighting. Like, she took down that one Order member. What were they called? I don't remember. They were called something. But she took them down, and then it blew up, but there wasn't any fighting. I really wanted that kind of fighting scene. But like I said, this is the first book. We are probably building up to war fighting scenes. So I'm sure we'll get some in the next few books. So those are kind of all my thoughts that I had on this book. Really, really enjoyed it. I would love to see the romance develop a little bit more. I would love to see more background in the next book. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I read it pretty quickly. I enjoyed tabbing it. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have read this book. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. Subscribe if you want to see more content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.